And do you think maybe, just maybe, the individual who's living a life of chaos, just maybe, they are thinking about lack and loss in their life? They're not looking at life with gratitude. They're looking at life of what they don't have. What's wrong? What am I missing? They tend to look at life as agonizing. They look at life not as an opportunity, but as an obstacle. Hey guys, I'm behavioral health and sex addiction recovery coach Rob Lopicola and certified life coach. And today I wanted to speak with you about how you are living your life. Did you ever meet someone that everything just seems to go well? Their job's going well, their relationship's going well, they're making money, their car runs well, they go to the gym, they have a schedule that's impeccable. They live life peacefully. They enjoy mowing their lawn. They enjoy sitting outside in the morning in the early morning sun. They tend to have patience and they enjoy life. Things seem to go right. And then have you ever met someone where they are anxious and stressed and everything's going wrong? The car breaks down, their boss is mad at them, they're having an argument with their roommate or their boyfriend or girlfriend. They're just not in a peaceful place. Everything goes wrong, and everything that goes wrong is just traumatic. Did you ever meet these two type of people? And did you ever think that maybe the one that's peaceful is lucky and the one that's stressed, where everything's going wrong, is unlucky? Is there such a thing? Or do you think maybe their life is a product of what they're focused on? Their life is a product of what they think about. Their life is a product of their mindset. What do you think? Do you think the person where everything's going well is just lucky, just happenstances are going his way? Or do you think he's probably, or she, is probably mindful, self-aware, present? They take care of matters as soon as they may come up. They don't necessarily procrastinate. They're on top of their circumstances and situations. They tend to be self-nurturing, where they take care of themselves. They go to the gym, they go outside in nature, they meditate. They hang out only with people who are also peaceful and self-nurturing and successful. Do you think that there's a chance that this individual is just mindful of their life? And do you think maybe, just maybe, the individual who's living a life of chaos, just maybe, they are thinking about lack and loss in their life? They're not looking at life with gratitude. They're looking at life of what they don't have. What's wrong? What am I missing? They tend to look at life as agonizing. They look at life not as an opportunity, but as an obstacle or a challenge or problems. In my last video, I talked about words not to use in your life, and problem was one of them. But everything's a problem. They look at everything as a problem. They sort of, to some degree, don't really see a way out of it. And then when challenging things happen, they look at them as though catastrophes are going to be the result. Most of the time, the catastrophes don't happen. But they repeatedly look at situations as catastrophes. And then yet the mindful person, when they're faced with a challenge, they almost are certain that they will easily get to the other side of it. They have that view, that perception that they're going to be okay no matter what. And then you have those who are living in chaos. They don't believe everything's going to be okay. in spite of history telling them that, yes, they've gotten to the other side of all their challenges. They're here now, they're present, they survived. They don't look at life that way. They look at life as a challenge. I have news for you that life doesn't happen to you, life happens for you. Life is a beautiful thing. I tend to have learned through my history 15, 20, 30 years ago, even though I was living a great career and very fit physically, I lived life in chaos. I lived life with this negative self-image and looked at everything as a problem and hated myself. My internal dialogue was negative. I didn't really attach myself to gratitude. I lived a life of chaos, and look where my life took me. I mean, it took me down what we call the fall from grace. Terrible fall from grace. But living life differently, hitting that reset button and living life with gratitude, with patience, with acceptance, and understanding my powerlessness. I know what I'm powerless over, and I know what I have power of. Do you know clearly what you are powerless over? And do you know clearly what you have power over? You are a very, very powerful person. We're not powerless. Now, the person that's living a life of chaos, they feel powerless. They lack acceptance. They don't understand the difference between what they're powerless over and what they have power over. The person over here that's living a life peaceful, they focus on their power. Do you focus on your power? Do you focus on where your power lies? You have massive power. I'm going to tell you what you have power over. You have power over your thoughts. You have power over your perceptions. You have power over the people you hang out with and invite into your village, if you will. You have power over the conversations you have. You have power over what you read, what you watch, what you're listening to. You have power with self-awareness and being present over how you speak. Because your mind is a product of how you speak, in part. Your beliefs, in part, are a product of how you speak. Do you walk around talking negatively? I can't do that. I can't handle this. Life is terrible. I can't believe this is happening to me. There are those, and I hope you're not one of them, but you might be, and you can change if you are. There are those who are volunteer victims. Are you a volunteer victim of your life? See, when you're young and you're a child, you're a victim of your circumstance. If you're in an abusive home or abusive environment, if you're poor, whatever the case is, you're a child, so therefore you are a victim. You could be victimized. But now when you're an adult and you're on your own, well, now you have a responsibility. You have a responsibility to take care of you. You have a responsibility to clear your mind, reset your mindset, restructure and redesign your life. If you want to live well, this is an obligation. Or are you living your adult life now continuously as a volunteer victim? Are you a victim of everything? That's what this person is. A victim of circumstance, a victim of life, a victim of all the problems, a victim that everything's against him or her. See, over here, the successful, peaceful person, they don't volunteer as victims anywhere. They just don't volunteer as victims anymore. Even if they grew up victimized as a child, they now take responsibility. The good news is no matter where you are in life right now, struggles, the challenges, the battles you're facing, the wrongs you've done, the pain you caused yourself and or others, you have a beautiful opportunity right now to hit the reset button. You're allowed to reset. You're allowed to just stop, wash your hands, splash some cold water on your face, go outside and breathe connect to nature or God, whatever you connect to for peace, and reset. Reset your thoughts, reset how you perceive things, reset your perception of the world, reset the perception of yourself. I have news for you. If you change the way you look at a thing, the thing you're looking at will change. Wayne Dyer, that's his line. He passed away recently, but that was one of his famous quotes. If you change the way you look at a thing, the thing you're looking at will change. How are you looking at the things in your life? How are you looking at you? If you change the way you look at yourself, the you you're looking at will change. If you change the way you look at your past or the circumstance or your environment, they'll change. Your view will change. You change the way you look at something, that something will change. Very simple. You as an adult now have an obligation, if you want to live well, to change how you look at everything. And there may be one thing you need to change in your life. Everything. That's the one thing. Everything needs to be changed. You have the power to do it. You have the power within you, right here, to change your life. What so many do who are in a life of chaos and anxiety and stress, they're looking for peace and serenity. They're looking for the solution. They're looking to be whole and loved out there. They think the solution to their problems, their challenges, their circumstance is out there. They're looking at a means to an end. The job, the money, the income, the relationship, the house, whatever it is, they're looking at that as a means to an end. But that's an illusion. None of those things will bring peace into your life. Now, albeit money and success could make your life more enjoyable, but that's not a means to your peace, serenity, and wholeness. See, the people over here that are peaceful, serene, and successful, and really just live a life of serenity, they've learned, as I've learned over the last 10 to 15 years, and now I coach people to embrace this, to be whole, to be peaceful, to be serene. You find it in here. When you find it in yourself, when you find that inner resource that's powerful, when you find the sense of wholeness and connection within, here comes the peace of serenity. When you connect to nature, when you connect to others, when you take care of your own internal trauma and pain, loneliness, whatever those restless, discontent, irritable feelings are that you may have contended with for years in your life. Once you come to terms with those, once you have acceptance and understanding, and you have compassion for yourself and forgiveness, you live a life of serenity. So how are you living your life? It's time for you to change the way you're looking at your life. It's time to adopt new ideas, new strategies, new concepts. And one way to do that is you find someone who has what you want, who's been where you're at. You do what that person does, you get what they have. If you're interested in coaching, if you're interested in a program of sex addiction recovery, I have it for you. I'm here. I've been there. I know what it's like to be at rock bottom. And I want to help you, if you are at rock bottom, to become rock solid. So if you're struggling with sex addiction, I have a 30-minute free 10-step strategy session that you can watch and begin your healing. And also, all of you, you can set up a free 45-minute strategy session with me to coach you on where you are now to where you want to be, and how can you do that. Let me help you change the way you look at you, your past, life, the future. Let me help you. I'm giving you a free strategy call. I'll have the link below. For both of these, the 30-minute strategy session and your free strategy call, no obligation. I want to help, I want to serve, and I want to give you what I've learned in my life. I'm so grateful you were here today. If you like this message and you want to see more, I post a new video weekly, typically on Tuesdays, so subscribe to my channel. Hit a like button if you like this video, and hit the bell. It'll tell you every time I post a new video. Be well, and I'll see you again next time.